Back at Jamie's house, checking out his 8-foot tank, and he's turned it into a planted tank. Absolutely amazing, Jamie.
Get the side shot right.
Yeah, honestly, it's picking up really well.
Yeah, downside is you get a bit of sunlight on this, but at night time it really pops the whole room up.
Yeah. It's hard to get the whole tank in it because it's such a massive tank, isn't it?
Yeah. The room's not very wide, so you can't get it all in standing from the front.
Yeah.
Obviously it's different when you're sat here looking at it, but
course,
on the camera it's very difficult to capture. But it's the easiest tank I've ever had. I don't use, I'm trying to use it as like a thing to show people. You haven't got to use CO2, you haven't got to use fertilisers.
No, that's it.
You obviously get much better results and you can keep hardy plants if you do all that, but I just wanted easy.
Yeah, that's it, that's what we all want really, don't we?
Yeah.
You can be in the video if you want.
Just getting little man's shoes.
That's alright.
Yeah, so don't use anything special.
No.
I grow easy plants like the Hygrophilus, Vallis, Crypts, Anubias, all the stuff that's dead easy to grow. I just kind of put it all in and thought whatever survives and grows, I'll just leave it.
That's it, yeah, it's all low nutrients, it doesn't need flow or anything, does it, all this stuff? You can't beat the Anubias though.
Yeah.
Just
Anubias always pops.
Yeah.
It does get a bit of algae on it, but I've got plenty of algae eaters and clean up crew that sort of take care of it. It's never got a problem.
Yeah, so it's creating a food for a minute as well.
So that a lot of people have like Vallis and they put it at the back of the tank as it's a really tall plant, but I'm just kind of, you can see where I've planted a few here and it's just gone pop, 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 pop all the way along.
Yeah.
I'm leaving it be. I don't want to, I think the more you touch a tank, the less natural it looks.
Joe, I think you're right. I planted out that little Fluval flex I got, and I do nothing with it at all, mate. And it's just gone crazy. The plants have gone mad in it. That's no CO2 either.
That's the best. It's the best way I think. Well, don't get me wrong. You can get seriously into aquascaping and grow carpets of glossy stigma and all that sort of stuff. But
yeah, but you can't with these fish, man. They're just these are really tearing them up and that, aren't they?
The only fertiliser in this tank is the stuff that the fish poop out. So the whole natural cycle.
That's right, and it saves you money in the long run, doesn't it?
It's massively over-filtered, so it's the same filtration setup as when all the big bass and stingrays are in here. But I reckon if you take all the fish out of that, there's probably about the same biomass as probably half of one of the bass that were in there.
Yeah, you're probably right. And so, you've got the plants in there now, which are eating it up.
Yeah, plants take it out. I probably chop out a good washing up bowl of plants every water change. That's every week or every 2 weeks. And it's just like nutrient export, keeps it clean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've got some incredible fish in here, man. Honestly, I've never seen so many like rainbows in a tank before.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix. I say not for the purists. They're not all Asian, not all South America. I've got it's a community tank, you know. But it's nice. It's nice to be able to go to a shop again and buy fish, see fish you like. Yeah. Buy fish.
Yeah, and not think, oh, is it going to get eaten?
Whereas before, I couldn't get anything under sort of 15, 16 inches.
That's right. Yeah. These rainbows are beautiful. The blues on them. Honestly, when it catches the light, that blue on that.
So the downside with the sunlight is the glare on the tank, but the positive note is when you're looking at it and they hit the sunlight, the fish just show so much different colour. So all these blue ones are the male Plecos rainbows, or male dwarf neon rainbows. Females are not so colourful, but you kind of have to have the females to...
Yeah, it keeps them all happy, doesn't it?
It's mostly community fish. I've got a few little oddballs, like these little Egyptian mouth brooders. Just saying, adds a bit of different character to the tank. Pair of cribs are cruising around the bottom. A couple of loaches that pop out here and there.
Yeah, I see one just simming through the sand there, bud, look.
Yeah, there's the little horse-faced loaches. They're quality fish, them. You never see them in dealers' tanks, they're always buried in the sand.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? I don't think I've ever seen them before in the shop.
When they're frightened, they dive into the sand and see the little heads poking out.
Yeah, they know what's going on.
Pretty funky little fish. But yeah, there's a bit of Asia, a bit of South America, a bit of Africa. It's not one for the purists, but a community tank is exactly that, isn't it?
Honestly, mate, it works so well, and it's such a vast tank. Like if I stand back now, like this tank's like 8 foot by 2.5 by 2.5, isn't it?
Exactly that, yeah.
So it's a huge tank. Well, remember my tank's 10 foot by 2.5. This is 8 foot, and it's planted.
Yeah, that's just under 1,500 litres total.
Yeah.
With the sump. So water quality is so easy to maintain because of the bioloads.
Well, you can see, don't it? Just looking down it, look. You can see out into your garden.
Yeah, you're probably a week since it was last water changed as well, so it's the tannins do build up. It would still give off tannins. But,
oh yeah, it always does, doesn't it?
but yeah, so you caught me on a bit of a surprise. I didn't have time to do water change before you came. So
yeah,
you've seen it how it, you know, how it is. It's not been prepped for the camera or anything.
No, that's it. I texted him earlier. I was at work in Hertford, so I said to you, "Are you about? I've got my camera with me. Can I come round?" So it's a bit of a short notice.
There you go. You see the true reflection of how I run my tanks.
That's it. What are these ones called? The tornadoes, aren't they?
Yeah, so the red, loads of common names, but they're Denisoni's barbs, red-nosed barbs, red-nosed sharks, rose-line sharks, whatever you want to call them. And you got these ones here, they're from Borneo. I don't think they've really got a common name. It's something like Cichlids janthanculor or something like that. I wouldn't want to offend you by pronouncing it like that.
Yeah, mate, I haven't got an absolute clue what you're talking about.
No, they're just basically a wild type barb from Borneo. We don't see very often. So I wanted to get. I think they look really good with the red-nosed barbs. They shoulder together, but it's something like a little bit different. Which you know what I'm like. I'm always looking for something a bit different.
Yeah, they work really well. They sort of blend in with them, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. And having that big group of fish just keeps them all secure and they're always out on display.
Yeah, see, and none of them are fighting because there's always there's something going on all the time. They're not going to pick on one, are they? This one is huge. This one at the back.
He's an old one, funny enough. He lived in the garage for a few years.
Ah, did he?
And he must be about 6 years old. That one. Slowly but surely, the other ones from that show when I first got them have sort of died off, and he was still on his own. So I thought, well, I've got to get some more to go with him.
Yeah, you've got to get him some mates, haven't you? Definitely.
But he's thriving now.
And you've got the same wave pump and stuff on it as before, isn't it? And the same return and stuff like that.
All the equipment's the same. The Gaia, I don't use it. I give it a purge.
Yeah.
Every couple of days, I'll turn it on just to collects a bit of crap in it.
Yeah.
And then my fan shrimp, you know, love the stuff that it stirs up, but it gives out too much flow for what I need in this tank.
Yeah, see it blowing all the plants up there. It's quite cool though, looking at it blowing all the plants, isn't it?
Yeah. Some of the fish really appreciate it. All the tetras and the barbs love the flow, but obviously the angels, since I put the autumn angels in, I don't want to be blowing them about too much.
No, that's right. Well, they're a completely different shape to the others, aren't they? So they're a lot flatter, aren't they?
The more I watch them, I think they're more like Moorish idols. You know, like the marine fish.
Yeah.
They're really nice fish, especially when they put a bit of growth on. So there's two different types of them in there. You've got the wild autumns, which are these bigger ones.
Yeah.
And these ones are Mankuparu angels, which are, I think they're still scalare, not autumns. Look similar.
They're stunning, mate. They'll be, like I say, they're going to be beautiful when they're full grown.
Yeah. I just like the wild type look of them. Not like, you know, I tried to keep everything in this tank natural, obviously apart from these platinum gouramis, but everything else is pretty much a natural fish.
Yeah. Yeah, but the gouramis go well though, don't they? They give it like, that's the only white in the tank really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I didn't really even buy them for this tank. I had them out in the garage and thought, why not put them in?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we hold on to our fish, don't we?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You know?
There's a little trio of pearl gouramis in there as well, which they're a cracking fish. There's the male right there actually.
Oh yeah.
The colours he gets when the sunlight hits him is just spectacular.
Yeah, it's lovely, mate. Absolutely lovely. And you've got your Congo tetras at the back there. See them?
Congos. Love a Congo tetra.
They are probably the biggest Congo tetras I've ever seen.
Some of those came from a friend of mine. They was getting a bit. I think they were getting bullied in his tank. So I already had a big group of Congos. He said, "Do you want some more?" So, of course.
Yeah. Well, you've got the room for them, haven't you?
And again, they're a fish that do well in big groups. And they go very well in planting tanks. They do nip the odd plants here and there, but not that's very noticeable to me, really.
No, that's it. Well, by the time it all starts growing back again, fine, aren't they? Yeah. These rainbows here, these red ones, what are these ones called?
You just said it, they're red rainbows.
Are they? Is that what they're called? Yeah, right. Is there a specific name for them, or?
I don't know the scientific name, but as with all rainbows, when you see these in a shop, they're little brown fish that you wouldn't.
Yeah, it's not colourful, no.
And they usually cost about £10 each, so not many people want to pay £10 for a little brown fish.
No.
But I bought all these fish when they were small. The wife was saying, "Why did you buy all these little brown fish?"
Yeah,
and I said,
wait.
"Just wait a few months."
Yeah, that's it.
Same as the Bosemanis, had no colour on them when they were young. Same as the Parkinsons, had no colour on them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, people don't know what they're buying sometimes, do they?
Rainbows are those fish that they blossom. So again, you keep males and females. So with the reds, I've got 3 of each, and the males, which is the males, just go bright red.
Yeah.
Just have a bit of patience, and they really, really come on.
No, that's right. Some good water changes, good food, and that's all you got to do, ain't you?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like with the Asian arowanas. When you do get them, they do look a bit You know, they look okay, but when you start
there's very few
getting
fish you can buy as a young size and they look how they should look.
Yeah.
They all fish mature and develop as they grow. I brought these wild collated tetras with the red tails, and they're just silver fish with no colour on them. Put them back in a planting tank, and as soon as they settle in after a few weeks, the colour start coming back.
Yeah, they've got red tails and all sorts, haven't they?
They glow green, they've got red tails, they're really nice little fish. Never seen them before.
No. No, a lot of the fish in here, I don't think I've seen before. What is this guy down here, this little yellow one? Is that some sort of cichlid, is it?
Yeah, that's just a gold ram.
Right, okay.
So two of those in here. Same as your standard, your standard blue rams. That's just a gold variety.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got some black rams I'm in that little 4 foot tank. They're quite cool.
Same species as that.
Yeah.
Just been bred for the colour. So I did buy what I thought was a pair because they've been bred to be gold. The sex differences aren't that obvious. So I think I've got two males as they're growing up. But
yeah, it doesn't matter though. You're not going to breed them, are you?
No. I mean the cribs occasionally have a little go at breeding, but in a tank like this, they'll occasionally get a baby survive. But if it does, great. But just let them get on with it.
Yeah.
The mouth breeders constantly spit out babies all the time. They'll swim into these roots at the base here, spit all the babies out, and I don't know where they go. But you never know. One day you might get 1 or 2 come out.
Well, that's it. We've got plenty of foliage about there, anyhow. So if anything sort of survives, it can go and hide up there, and food will come in and stuff, and they can grow, can't they?
Yeah.
And then when they're big enough, you sort of see the fish come out, don't you?
Yeah, that's the whole idea of it, isn't it? Let them get on with it.
No, it's such a natural tank, natural looking tank. This is how a tank should look, like a tank this size.
Yeah, I think I was like saying, most people with big tanks just have big fish, but I did the big fish. I've got the big fish outside. I thought, why not just make a display? Because it's in my living room.
Yeah.
It's more of a feature now, and a lot of people.
I see you've got a chair there, mate, so you can sit there and.
That's it. We put a chair in. My little boy likes sitting there looking at them.
I bet your little boy climbs up on that as well, and he puts his hand up there, don't you? Yeah, mine does the same.
Spotted all the fingerprints.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it's just like so much more of a display now, and a lot more people that come to the house comment on it than they did when it was all the
monsters, yeah.
The gars and the rays and stuff.
I know. Well, that's what we're into, aren't we? You know, my missus prefers my little planting tank than the arowana tank.
Yeah, same.
No, you've done a cracking job, mate.
Yeah, it's still maturing. It gets better every week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Especially as the fish are growing. There's a lot of fish in there. As I say, they look like there's a lot of fish in there, but they're all at the front because we're standing here. But sometimes you can come up to this tank and think, where are they all gone? Yeah,
I bet that night as well, it's all a completely different game, isn't it?
Yeah, they all sink into the plants, they go into the wood. I think you see a lot more natural behaviour now in a tank this big than you do in your little standard 60 litre community tank people have. Because in your little tanks, they can't really express their breeding cycles, they can't express their day and night cycles. And this sort of size tank, it's like, you see a lot more behaviour even out of like the basic fish. You see the cardinals doing weird things. Most of the time throughout the day, the cardinals are swimming singly, and for 20 minutes of an evening, they'll all ball up in a little tight ball and go around together.
Yeah.
So you don't often see that in a standard tank.
Well, it's like they've gone out for the day, innit? And they come back home later on. It's so big.
They'll be at work and meeting their mates in the afternoon.
That's right. Go down the pub or whatever.
Yeah, it's just.
No, it's beautiful, mate. Absolutely beautiful.
They're just back to basics of this.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, it's all low maintenance, and you're not running like really expensive lights as well, which is cool for people to see, you know.
Yeah.
Because people think, oh, I want to do a planted tank, I've got to go and buy the £1,000 light or
absolutely not.
CO2, this, that, the other, you know, and it puts a lot of people off, doesn't it?
I bought cheap Chinese lights off eBay. I've got no fertilisers. I use no special potions. Tap water, fish poo, and that's it. And you can do it.
Yeah. And you haven't got to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on fish, because you can buy them small, like you say. You can buy some of these rainbows for like £10 each, can't you?
Yeah.
Have a bit of patience, and then later on, 6 months to a year later, they start looking like this.
Don't get me wrong, I still spent a few quid on the fish.
But, yeah, I know.
But you can do it bit by bit. You can add like 10 here and there, wait a few weeks, add another 10.
Yeah, well that's what all the fun's about. The best thing about keeping fish is buying their fish, isn't it? And feeding them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, funny, we'll do some food in a bit. I went and bought some live food.
Oh, wicked.
I'll give that a go.
Cool, alright. Yeah, I was literally about to ask you as well, what do you feed these guys?
So, food wise, is pretty much, and this is not, I'm not plugging anyone, but I do like the Vitalis foods.
Yeah.
I used to work with these when they were called New Era, when they first come on the market. I used to sell them where I used to work. And they've changed their name to Vitalis, but the food quality is fantastic.
Yeah, I think I used to use that food when I had the marine stuff. They do all the
That's right, they do a lot of marine stuff, yeah. I just like I know it's like a simple thing.
Yeah.
But when you buy pots of flake food, it's like some of it's almost like dust and powder.
I know what you mean.
When you buy this stuff, it's like, you know, there's like it comes in sheets almost.
Yeah, and it's got a nice pot as well.
Yeah.
Like
nice
some
pot.
of the bags, you know, like the Aquarium stuff you use, it comes in them annoying bags. You've got to seal it up with your fingers and it doesn't seal properly.
Yeah, that's it.
And a couple of days later, it does go off.
It's just good stuff. If you read the ingredients on the back, it's just good stuff.
Yeah, it's not full of rubbish.
And then obviously they get frozen food a couple of times a week as well, like all your Daphnia, tube effects, mysis, brine shrimp, everything. I think that really does push the colours on them as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. They need it. Well, they've eaten it in the wild, so that's what I've always said.
Yeah, absolutely. There's obviously there's a spoon in there which I didn't have time to take out, but
is that for your Plecos? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a courgette or a pepper on that, or a sweet potato every other day.
Yeah.
And they absolutely demolish that. And that's where you see other weird behaviours. Putting things like courgettes in, I never would have thought Congo tetras would eat courgette. They all come down, they all nibble the courgette. And it probably helps keep them off the plants as well.
Oh yeah, if they've got a full belly, they're not going to go for the plants, are they? You know, yeah, like you say, put a courgette in there for a couple of days, and you slowly see it going down, didn't you?
It's amazing how quick the Plex get through it.
Yeah, let's talk about Plecos as well. We've got some nice Plex in there as well. I don't know if we're going to see any of them, do we? But
so we don't always see them, but yeah, we've got 6 high fin green phantoms. They pop out here and there. Can you see that one? Just sort of down behind that wood.
Yeah, I can just see it just at the back there. Yeah.
We've got a standard green phantom. We've got a big gold nugget, which I've had for years now. There's a Papa Panak, which is the only thing I regret putting in here because he just chews through the wood.
Yeah.
Hardly ever see him, but he's got 3 or 4 times the size since he went in.
What's that? Raw Plex?
No, Papa Panaks. They come from quite deep water. They've got tiny little eyes and a big forked tail with a filament on it.
Right. Okay.
They're really nice looking fish. It's a black pleco with like a white half moon shaped tail. But being a Panak, they're wood eaters. So he just chews the wood to bits.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And puts the odd hole in a plant here and there, but I'm never going to get him out.
No, well, the only way to get him out, you know the only way to get him out, isn't it? You've got to start taking it all apart, but no chance.
No. Yes, there's a few Plex I've put in there.
And I like the way you've left the wood away from the glass, so when you want to clean your glass, it's easy, you know, it's not going to hit you. Well, I don't know what you use, maybe a flipper or whatever. It's not going to hit your flipper, is it? So you've got enough room just there, haven't you? So a lot of people put all their timber up against the windows now, and they go, "Oh, I've got to try and clean that," you know.
Get all those algae marks around it.
Yeah.
No, it's just all. I had quite a lot of space, so it's all spaced out for maintenance as well. It's one thing you learn, isn't it? When you've got multiple tanks, you want it easy as possible.
Of course, yeah, I know. Try and look after them all the time, ain't you?
Yeah. So I spend probably. If I do a water change every 2 weeks, I'd say I'd spend about an hour every 2 weeks on maintenance. So for an 8-foot tank, an hour every 2 weeks is absolutely nothing, is it?
It's nothing.
Obviously, that don't include feeding them every day, but that's just dropping a bit of.
Yeah, it's the fun bit, isn't it?
That's the fun bit.
That's what people don't realise. They think, these tanks are going to spend so many time looking after them and have so much money to look after them. You don't need to, do you?
Not at all.
With the monster fish, it's a bit different, isn't it? You know, you have to do bigger water changes and
they're
more
a bit more
regular.
labour intensive, but even so, you set it up right.
Yeah,
easy.
That's right. And once you get into the good routine,
there's no carrying buckets of water through the house. There's no messy sponges to clean out. There's nothing. It's just drop the hose pipe out into the garden to drain it.
Yeah.
Hose pipe back in from the shower, so it's warm water going back in.
Going out a cup of tea.
Yeah, it pretty much is that. Set a timer and then come back to it.
Yeah, it's all done. Right, Jamie's going to do a feed for us now as well. And after this video, we're going to go out into his monster room to go and check out all the fish out there. And he's got some tarantulas, I think, Jamie, ain't you?
Still got some, yeah?
Yeah, I'm not holding them. One of your green phantoms is out now as well.
Oh, good. Knows there's a bit of food coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the side you feed, isn't it?
Yeah, I generally always feed from that side.
Yeah, I think they think that something's going on.
They're waiting for it.
Yeah.
They're not stupid.
No. So what are we feeding? What is it?
So we've got a load of live food: Daphnia, Tubifex, Monster Bloodworm, something else.
Something pretty grim, but they're going to love it, aren't they?
Yeah. They do love the frozen and the live food. As I say, just really gives them that bit of colour. Big old chunk of it gone down the
Yeah,
base.
well, there's something about small fish when they all eat together, isn't there?
You can see our tetras, piranhas are tetras, can't you?
Yeah.
So that's like a bonus feed today. You still get their flake and their pellets.
Yeah.
I'll pick away at that. I don't really feed Tubifex that often, to be honest with you. I feed the frozen stuff, but never the live stuff. And we're going away for a little bit soon, like just for a couple of days. So Tubifex, if it gets into the sand, it can live for quite a while.
Right.
So things like the cories and the sand sifting loach and stuff will hopefully pick bits up.
Yeah, it just keeps them going while you're away. Yeah, it's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a good natural food, that.
That's nearly all gone, all that, mate. That's good. It's a good sign, isn't it? Because you don't want food laying about either.
Oh yeah. I don't think I could overfeed this thing.
No, I don't think you can. They just go all day, it's not.
Yeah, well, most little fish do better, don't they, little and often. If I fed these 6 times a day, a smaller amount, it's probably just as good as feeding them what I do now.
Yeah. Well, none of them seem skinny. They're all in great shape, aren't they?
Took a while for the autumns to start. When I got them, because they were wild fish, they would only eat frozen food, like meaty foods.
Yeah.
But after about a week or so, they started taking pellet and flake, so they're good as gold now.
Yeah, once you get them on it, they're fine, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're making me want to get some of these angels.
Got them from Pier Aquatics up in Wigan.
I've never been there. I've got to go there at some point, but I've never been up there. I've heard so many stories about the place.
Really good shop, just 4.5 hours away.
Yeah.
That's the only downside.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's put me off.
Yeah, I don't think many of those worms will sink into the sand.
No, they've sort of munched a lot, haven't they? Right, what do we all think of this tank then? It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? So it's 8 foot by 2.5 by 2.5 planted tank with all these stunning fish in it. But stay tuned for the next video, because obviously we're going out into the monster room now, which has got all the bass, and you've still got the arowana, haven't you?
Yeah.
Big silver, yeah. So I can't wait to see him, mate. I'm so excited to see him, because obviously I haven't seen him. I reckon it's a year. It's been a year, isn't it?
See your ultimensis.
Yeah. Right, so stay tuned for next week, but that's this one ended today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe to the channel, ding the notification bell, and keep it real, everyone. Thanks, Jamie.